Hello, hello, hello. And welcome. Alright, just trying to get centered there. And this is alertwolf here to bring you a review of an American animation that honestly I've been wanting to do for a while, and I didn't realize it picked up off its hiatus. So I'm doing Tron Uprising, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do episode 9, which is Scars Part 1. The reason why I'm doing this and doing this late is I had let stuff pile up on my DVR and hadn't realized that the Trons that were there weren't repeats. So I figured I'm going to start, and I don't want to start with Part 2, which comes out tomorrow. Or today, I forget. But I figure I might as well do Part 1, and then let that be out there, and then I'll go into Part 2. Now, Scars, in this one, basically, it starts off, we see this super cool jet flying into the hangar, and it's a high priority from Clue, and we see it's this, and then at the same time it's one of Tron's devices goes off and spies the same information that they're getting at the console and lets Tron know, and then he's watching this. And what it is this guy named Dyson comes out of the plane, and Dyson has General Tessler worried. He's like, oh, this son of a bitch, you know, this two-faced son of a bitch. And then he has to be two-faced to him, and he goes, oh, why are you here? He's like, oh, you know, I'm gonna fire you and put you in the games. What? Nah, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. This is just a regular inspection. Just treat it as normal. And the moment Tron finds out who it is, he's agitated and angry. And you know, I'm going to mention this further, a little more in this, but the celebrity cast behind these episodes are amazing. I'm amazed they're able to do it. We got, I believe it's John Glover. Right? John Glover? Let me double check that. Yeah, John Glover. He did things like, he was Lionel Luthor in Smallville. You know, he was in Gremlins 2 as the rich guy. He was in RoboCop 2 as the villain. You know, so he's been around. I personally like him as an actor. And so, and that's who's playing him. And, you know, that's who's playing Dyson. That's a great guest star. So, next thing we know, you know, as this, you have them talking, and Tron basically tells Beck that he wants, you know, Dyson, and Dyson wants to just walk around the city and see, you know, inspect it, see what's going on, see why it's taking Tessler so long, what's going on, and the rumors of this renegade. He wants to get an assessment. And as you know, as this story progresses, basically it's this episode is basically a huge flashback. We get to see the history between these two characters, and a lot of the history on how he got his scars, and just some background stuff that happened before the second movie. You know, and that's something I always wondered about this. This is supposed to take place after the second movie, or just before it? I believe it's after it, but... So basically we find out that Dyson is Tron's second in command. And, you know, Tron was the leader of the police force. And basically, there was about to be a riot where all the ISOs were on one side, and you had all the citizens on the other side, and there was about to be a conflict. So Tron didn't want any discs being used. He wanted no violence. He just wanted to stop the crowd peacefully, without any incident. And we see how, you know, the other officers are lodging complaints, and Dyson's like, nah, man, get to it, you know? And we see that Dyson in the beginning was this very loyal, very trustworthy character. We know there's a betrayal coming, because obviously Dyson's on Clue's side versus where Tron is, and considering the rage. And another cool factor is, as Tron gets angrier, the scar, because he's not healing himself, is getting deeper and wider. And it's just showing you, it's a device to use to show you how dark the character is getting. Due to he's being lost in his rage. And I like that. I like that device. So, we get to the, where this raid's gonna be, and we see characters there, and it looks like that thief character is there. I could be wrong. What's her name? Give me a name. Not Paige. What are these chicks? Pearl. It looks like Pearl's in the crowd too, in the front. I could be completely wrong on that, but that's just me. And so during this thing, you know, they're calming. Tron is calming down the crowd. He's like, "Listen, man, Flynn isn't about this violence. The grid is big enough for everybody. Let's do this peacefully." I mean, and this is a big subtext on racism, basically, and an analogy for it. And you know, because everybody was a program, and now all of a sudden you have something that's different from them. Not, you know, programs generated by the grid as opposed to by Flynn. Whereas Flynn, their creator, loved this and thought it was amazing. Everybody else has been afraid of them because they're different. And he had calmed down the crowd, and then all of a sudden, you know, that stray who shot the first shot in a, you know, in a massacre type deal, that stray disc went and killed somebody on the program side. Now, and Tron turns around and he sees someone who's running. Obviously, I'm going to take a stab in the dark and say that was Clue. Because Clue he didn't like the ISOs, and he wanted this conflict. And then a riot broke out, and they're still telling officers not to use the disc. You know, Dyson's still like, don't use your discs. We're not supposed to be killing people. And they're getting the cops. There's only like 6 or 7 of them. You know, it's a crowd of a few hundred people fighting, and people are dying on each side. So Dyson takes a disc to his eye, to his face, and just, yeah, this whole side of his face comes off. Or maybe this side, you know, I'm watching TV, it's probably this side. So he has this big crunching hole. And, you know, then we flash back to the present, and he's working, he's like, listen, you know, we need to take this guy out, and I'm not going to give you the reasons why, but just, we need to capture him. And you know, he's talking to Tron's talking to Beck, and he's like, we need to capture him and bring him back to base so I can interrogate him. He's like, wouldn't it just be easier to get his disc? Like, why are we taking this guy back to our base and exposing our secrets? He goes, it's on a need to know, basically. You don't need to fucking know, you know. And we also find out a little more. We see that Tron is training Beck to take him out, and the plan is to use a smoke screen to distract his elite guard, take out the guard, and then take out Dyson and capture him. And then they've been doing these simulations a lot. So then, so it's getting close to the time, you know, and I love how good Dyson's getting. Now, there is one scene you get, and it's with it is with not Paige, the other one. Yeah, no, it's with Paige, and it's with God, what's this? Paige and what's that douche's name? Pavel. There we go. I was blacking out. It's with Paige and Pavel, and basically, Pavel wants Paige to join him because he figures, hey, listen, especially after the last episode, he's figuring General Tesla is going to be done soon, and they're going to look for somebody new to step up, and why not be them? You know, if they have each other's back instead of trying to backstab each other all the time. Well, and it's funny because it's not really her. He's the one who keeps trying to backstab, and it blows up in his face one way or the other. You know, he's like, dude, we should work together. We could accomplish great things. And she's like, f you. And she hits the brakes a little on the plane they're in, and he smacks his head against the window. So then they land. Beck's all set up. They're walking around the town. He's like, Dyson's like, I want to get a good feel for people. And you have Pavel trying to build up the Renegade as a big threat, whereas Paige is trying to bring him down as a big threat, because she doesn't want to see anybody de-rezzed and whatnot. And he's like, yeah, and they're walking around, they're talking about things, and Beck is waiting to ambush them, and he has a smoke bomb set up, and Dyson. This is what impresses me about Dyson, because after all, he was freaking Tron's number 2, and now he's like Clue's number 2, and he completely recognizes that there's something not right. He senses it. He puts his hand to the floor, and he starts seeing the footsteps towards this grate, which is something I didn't even think they could do, which was really cool to see. And he's like, and then Beck's seeing this, and he's like, oh man, he's gonna make me. So he hits the thing on the mine to go off for the smoke bomb, and Dyson's so fast he gets to it before the timer goes off, throws it in the air, it explodes, and he's like, oh, it's just a smoke bomb. And he's like that, while in the air, is not so dangerous, but if it was here, it would leave us open to be taken out. Now who would want to ambush us, I suppose? And then Paige has to admit that it is, the Renegade, and he's like, is he a nuisance? And you have Pavel saying, yeah, some people may think he's Tron, and he's like, oh, he's no Tron, she's like, yeah, you knew Tron and Flynn, because he mentioned that he was there that time Tron and Flynn almost destroyed the grid. Yeah, and he's like, yeah, oh, I know him. I was there. I watched him die. And Beck is taken back by this information. We get one more flashback. You know what? The flashbacks, honestly, there were so many in this episode, I might be misquoting where they happened, but it doesn't matter. Then we get the flashback of what happens, and this is almost out of the movie, where basically Flynn and Clue are talking, and they're arguing. He's like, am I still supposed to make the perfect system? This is Clue. And Flynn's like, of course, yeah. And then you have, what's-his-face, Dyson orders the soldiers to come in, and Tron's like, get out of here, I'll hold them off, and Tron starts killing them. But in the end, Tron is all scarred up and taken down, and he's like, you'll never get him. And he's to Clue, he's like, you're never gonna get him. He's the creator. He can hide and blend in anywhere. And Clue's like, yeah, let him go. My plan was never to get him, was to get you. Because without the mighty Tron, the creator will fall and Clue will rise. And Dyson's like, you betrayed us. You betrayed me. You betrayed Flynn. How could you do this? He goes, no. Flynn betrayed us when he sided with the ISOs. Which I think it's funny because it's never going to come out that Clue was the one that fired that first disc that day. But whatever. So, and then you see Clue stabbing him in the chest with the with his disc, and apparently kill him. I mean, we know from the movie he didn't kill him so much as captured him and used him for a few years. So, and erased his memory. So I don't know. I mean, that's the weird gap about this show, and I'm gonna just say this, and the movie. I am not 100% positive how it flows right. Like, you get movie characters, right? And it's clearly after the movie, and it's following the movie storyline. But, like, the way the movie ends is Clue, I thought, died, and apparently he's not dead. And Tron was working with Clue and then fell in the water and regained his memory. So, if he was really being, you know, he needs to be healed all the time for these wounds not to kill him. I don't understand how that fully works. And I don't even understand how Clue's still alive. But whatever. It is what it is. I mean, but then the next thing we note is Beck goes back to Tron. Tron sees him coming back. He's like, I thought I told you not to come back unless you had Dyson with you. He goes, listen, man, is this about the revolution or is this about you killing in the name of revenge? He goes, I'm not going to let you do that. I don't care what you do to me. And Tron shocks him with one of these little, you know, little bolt things, and takes his disc, removes the half of this disc that was Tron's, puts it back on his own, and then he becomes the white Tron again. And he's fully Tron now. And now that's where the episode leaves. He's going to go after Dyson himself. And he goes, and he says, you know, I don't remember asking you, kid. Now, at this point, the scar is like all the way through his eye. You know what I mean? Because it's spreading. Because he's slowly de-rezzing from it. And I like how it looks digital and blocky. I dig that. All in all, this was a really good episode. We got a lot of background stuff. I like the character of Dyson. You know, we get to see Tron go to a dark, rage-filled place, which is a difference with his character. We get to see why Dyson went the wrong route and betrayed Flynn and Tron. And that's because he had half his face just chopped off. You know what? I will say this. There's a scene where and I missed the scene, but there was a scene in the episode where Flynn gets there and he's being told what happened, and he's so super excited about the things he wants to do that he's really ignoring the political and racial implications of what's happening. And, you know, and Dyson has half of his face missing, and he's like losing data, you know? And Tron's like, oh, he got this car in the line of duty, and, you know, Dyson basically tells Flynn that he wants them all deleted for this. And he's like, listen, I understand you need for justice, but it's something amazing. What freaks me out is he didn't try to repair him. You know, in the end, Clue's the one who fixed his face. So that's the other reason why he went with him. I don't understand why if Flynn had repaired his face, that would have done a lot to repairing his hatred for these guys. Instead, Clue sees the opportunity and does it. And you takes someone nearly as good as Tron and makes him his ally. So basically, Dyson's his Tron, if you get what my meaning. So I like that. I mean, it's funny to me that he didn't do it because he's so wrapped up in what he wants to do in the big picture. So again, I'm going to give this one a 5 out of 5. I really like this episode. I think this was one of the best episodes of the season. And it's a really good show. So, you know, I'm glad it's off its hiatus. Now, there's only a few episodes left. I believe this is 9. There's 13 episodes in this first season. I mean, I don't even know if they're doing another season. I don't know. You know, it's such a big celebrity cast. And I really love the animation. I like everything about this. It looks really great. And this is a great companion, almost like a third movie. I really like Tron Uprising. You know, I like it a lot. I like that they got the original voice of Tron. I like that, you know, everything about this show feels very authentic, very right. And it's almost like Batman passing on the mantle, you know, with the passing of Tron to Beck. So I really like this show. I would have done this show sooner. I would have done the episode before had I known. But it's running on 20 minutes now, so this is a long review. And alright, so again, 5 out of 5. I'm going to be doing the rest of the episodes. And sorry I rambled a bit, and that's alright. So this is alertwolf telling you to click it up if you like it, subscribe if you can, comment if you must, and I am signing out.